Okay, so we've got our blueberries in there and we've got it covered. And I think it's time to go ahead and put them in the oven.
Yes.
What are we making today?
Today, we're going to be making a recipe from the Alzheimer's Solution. This is Team Sherzai's book, and they talk about things to do, including foods to eat so that your brain can stay healthy. And Dr. Riz, today's recipe has a lot of antioxidants.
Today, we're going to show you how to make blueberry crisp.
Welcome back to our channel. Today's video is part of a holiday cooking video series to show you plant-based options for the family. Make sure to check the notes in the YouTube description section for the ingredients and to find out more about recipes. Hope that you enjoy, and if you make this recipe, please let me know. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe so that you can be updated every time we upload a new video. This recipe calls for blueberries. However, you can use a mix of berries such as raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries. If you do use strawberries, make sure to chop them up. Also, we previously mentioned erythritol as a sugar sweetener substitute, and in this video, we will be using it. It's found naturally in pears and grapes. It has 0 calories and sugar. It is great for baking. It's gluten-free. It's low on the glycemic index and has no preservatives. It structurally looks like mannitol, a well-known antioxidant. However, unlike mannitol and other polyols such as xylitol and sorbitol, erythritol is well tolerated and shows no signs of toxicity. According to Dr. Michael Greger, new data may suggest that erythritol may be a sweet antioxidant. Stick around after this recipe to hear my brief book review of the Alzheimer's Solution and why you should read it too. This will be part of a series that I will call Eat and Read Plant-Based.
Okay, we'll be using 5 cups of blueberries. And we're going to be using erythritol.
Yes.
Say that 3 times fast. Erythritol.
We're going to be using this in place of sugar. As you know, during the holidays, people use, they bake a lot. There's all sorts of sugar consumption. Well, Team Sherzai uses this ingredient in place. It's like a sweetener, but more natural in place of sugar.
It's a sugar alcohol found in fruits such as pears, melons, and grapes, and is a great alternative to sugar for those who want sugar-like sweetness and texture without the calories.
Yeah.
This has 0 calories, and it's not an artificial sweetener. And it's just one ingredient, which is erythritol.
I highly recommend you read this book, and let's get started on our recipe. Okay, another thing that Team Sherzai, what they do, and I'm not particularly recommending this brand of dates. I basically just have those dates to show you that what they did is they created a date paste. And we've already, made some, so I'm going to show you how to make it at home. And again, this takes the place of sweetener so that you don't have to use refined sugar or any type of sugar. So we're going to take 6 dates, remove the pits, and we're going to soak them in hot water. I have the water ready. So yeah, we're just going to take the seed out. Now, I've seen videos of people boiling the heck out of the dates, so much to the point that they become discolored and they look really gross. You don't have to do that. Just allow these to soak in hot water. And we're just going to put a little bit of hot water, just enough to kind of cover everything. And like I said, you don't have to boil these. You're going to see how it works out nicely. So let's set these to the side.
Our pitted dates are ready.
Our dates are ready.
They've been sitting in hot water.
Yes.
As you can see, I did not directly pour the entire bowl of dates and water into the blender, since I did not want the mixture to be too watery. I added enough water to cover the dates. I started the blender at a low setting and sped it up to puree the dates.
Very nice. How does that look?
Let's take a look at it. It's still steaming.
Yeah. Very nice. That's the way it's supposed to look. This is actually just right. 6 dates is enough to fill half a cup. We're ready to mix all our ingredients, Dr. Riz. You're just going to put everything that goes on top of the blueberries in here.
We have our pecans, or pecans as we say here in Texas. Walnuts. These are already smaller pieces. Our rolled oats. Almond flour. Okay. cinnamon. And here's our erythritol. Okay. This already smells great. Okay. And we're going to put in our pureed dates. While we did forget to add the unsalted almond butter, we found that this mixture still worked quite nicely for us. If you add the almond butter, you may find yourself using your hands rather than a spatula. That looks about good. All right, so we've made our mix here, and we got our blueberries. This recipe serves 6 to 8 people. You may consider cutting this recipe in half if it is only 2 of you. We find that this amount is a bit too much for us. That's a lot of blueberries. You can also share with a neighbor. This is also a good option if you find that your berries do not have a long storage life. You will lightly sprinkle the mixture over your blueberries. We previously made this recipe using a smaller square baking dish. We prefer the ratio of blueberries to the topping when using a baking dish that is 9 by 13. So I kind of got it all covered up, and now I'm just filling in the blanks with whatever I have left. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so we've got our blueberries in there and we've got it covered, and I think it's time to go ahead and put them in the oven.
Yes.
No need to use foil for this recipe. You will bake the berries at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 to 50 minutes. You'll see I kept them in the oven for 50 minutes and the toppings browned a bit too much. Next time I will bake for about 40 minutes. So the blueberry crisps is done cooking. They were in the oven for about 50 minutes at 350 and they browned nicely on top. And they're really still hot and bubbling. So we're going to let this cool off, and then afterwards we're going to give it a shot.
Actually, the boat show, that's the first time we've really been around a lot of people at one time who knew who we were.
Once the blueberry crisp cooled down enough, Maya and I sat down to watch one of our favorite sailing channels as we shared a serving of this delicious crisp. It is very rich, so small amounts worked for us.
Nothing is stuck. Anyway, okay.
From the Alzheimer's solution. While every chronic disease that you can think of, like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, strokes, HIV, they are all on the decline. Deaths due to Alzheimer's have increased by nearly 87% in the last decade. The next decade could be even worse. 10% of people over the age of 65 will develop some sort of dementia, and people over the age of 85 have a 50% chance of developing the disease. What conventional medicine hasn't told you and your loved ones, or nearly 6 million people living with Alzheimer's in the United States, or 47 million living with Alzheimer's worldwide, is that within the normal lifespan, 90% of the Alzheimer's cases can be prevented. If you have a loved one, or you're a caretaker to someone who's suffering with Alzheimer's disease, or if you yourself are having cognitive impairments or are concerned about brain health, or you want to help reduce your risk for Alzheimer's, this is the book that I recommend. You know that I'm very much into plant-based nutrition and lifestyle medicine, and Doctors Dean and Ayesha Sherzai, who are neurologists, did a great job of putting this book together. They both have lost loved ones to Alzheimer's. They have put their research together and written this book to give you the tools so that you can reduce your risk. While most of us understand the importance of eating plant-based foods to reduce inflammation and reduce our risk for strokes and heart disease, and also we think of food as medicine for our bodies, but we forget that other lifestyle choices can also affect our brain health. And so what you'll find in the Alzheimer's solution is that Team Sherzai addressed first some of the myths about Alzheimer's, and also myths related to nutrition, such as believing that coconut oil is good for our brain, or fearing that the sugar found in fruits can be damaging to our brain. Team Sherzai also remind us about the importance of exercising. We are not meant to sit for long periods of time. And as many of us did this year, 2020, we sat in front of our computers and lived a more virtual life. Exercise both decreases and also can reverse cognitive decline no matter what age you begin. And what we find is that many physicians, while they prescribe that their patients exercise, they rarely teach their patients how to succeed. And one of the things that I also like about lifestyle medicine is that they see exercise as a prescription, and they give the patients the tools that they need so that they can set the appropriate goals, realistic goals, and get started. The Alzheimer's solution also addresses the damaging effects of chronic stress that is not properly managed and sleep deprivation. Imagine how many of us were under chronic stress this year because of many things that were happening around the world and how people were being affected, but also not being able to sleep properly. So they encourage various ways, not only to understand how sleep deprivation and chronic stress affect the brain and damage by causing inflammation and things like that. They talk about how chronic stress can considerably damage the body, but also the brain. Uncontrolled stress puts the body in overdrive and increases cortisol, bringing on anxiety and depression, unable to really fully function, pay attention. So they suggest things like exploring meditation, taking regular walks, practicing yoga, even listening to soothing music, and also cleaning up your physical environment, cultivating healthy relationships, and then finding a purpose in your life. These are all the things that lifestyle medicine really talks about. But did you know, until now, you would find it in the book, that this is also good for the brain. Finally, the book teaches you how to optimize your brain to improve problem solving. I used to think that by building jigsaw puzzles, or I'm challenging myself with Sudoku, was actually working on my brain. But no, there's so much more to it, like teaching your brain how to think new ways and rewiring. And so I really encourage you to take the time in 2021 to explore this book and see how it can impact your life as well. What areas can you improve on? And of course, you will find some delicious recipes in this book as well. I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think. Okay guys, if you like this video, please hit the like button and make sure to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe.
Hit that notification button.